Our trauma does not define who we are. Guys, listen to me loud and clear, please. Take a pause. Listen to what I'm sharing. Our trauma does not define who we are, and we are not our trauma. We are bigger than our trauma. We can transcend our trauma. We are multidimensional, multifaceted, wholesome, unique, beautiful beings. Trauma and our upbringing is limited, but our future and our capacity to heal, reconnect, and transform is limitless. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist, and my mission is to provide education-based entertainment through digestible anime and psychology. In today's episode, I'll break down attachment theory, how to search for belonging, how the broken can also become the teacher, and yes, I'm talking about violets, and the symbolism of the starry sky and infinite possibilities. And a major shout out to my Patreon family for the generous support. As promised, once our YouTube channel hits 15,000 subscribers, my exclusive never seen content will go live to all the supporters. Thank you for 208 and counting members for your patience and generosity. Let's tune in. Astria. I love these town names. People marching. Whoa, that's cool. Immediately, we're 55 seconds into the episode, and I'm already seeing some emotional constriction and suppression and even avoidance from this character, Leon. They're just dolls, right? Do you see the stark contrast between their emotions of this guy's like, oh my gosh, Leon, check out all these women coming from all over the continent. And what do we see the difference in their facial animation, facial expressions or lack thereof? This guy's very excited. Looks like they're very high up in this mountain landscape. And as a guy, especially if you're single, it's very normal and natural for us to get excited about women, beautiful or not. But what do we see with Leon? They're just dolls, right? No facial expressions, facial constrictions. And who does that remind us of? Violet. The stark contrast in the ongoing dichotomy of Violet's lack of facial expressions in the beginning and even ongoing, and now here with Leon and his friends. Leon is suppressing his excitement. He's not very excited. He's actually minimizing and avoiding the excitement, saying that they're just dolls. Who cares? So it's very interesting to see what that foreshadows for this episode, and I wonder what sort of backgrounds and storyline is surrounding Leon, because it sounds like Leon will be the main character for this episode. So we'll see how that evolves and transforms throughout this episode. Because one thing we all know is there is infinite amount of possibilities. As long as we don't give up, we find social support, meaningful network to help us grow, like the mirror neuron theory I talked in-depthly about in episode 5 last week. We can all grow by learning from each other, social learning theory that I also talked about. So what is the key here? Do not give up. Even if you're broken, it is entirely possible going from a place of brokenness to reconnectiveness, going from a brokenness to connection, going from brokenness to healing. So I'm very, very excited to see how Leon evolves and who and how he learns to reconnect with himself. But I just wanted to pause real quick because I'm already seeing very, very significant highlight on Leon's lack of facial expressions and almost lack of enthusiasm and no interest. See, Leon continues to suppress and look for reasons to not be excited. And what he's saying is entirely false. It's not about rich men. It's about helping people connect and deepening relationships.
そして
I love that Leon's monologue towards the end. I didn't know why, but it disgusted me. What does that say? Again, he doesn't even know why he's avoiding these joyful occasions of having beautiful women from all around the continent visiting their little town, of course for a job. But as we all know, as the audience knows deeply, the job and the duties, pun intended, of auto memory dolls is not to marry rich men. That's never been mentioned. It's rather to be the conduit, be the bridge, be the connection for other broken people by deepening their relationships, which is what? How episode 5 ended, with Major Gilbert's brother, I think that's Gilbert's brother, saying that how ironic, you went from the hands that killed my comrades and brothers and sisters in combat to the hands that are connecting people and relationships. How laughable. So we do know that that is a primary duty of auto memory dolls. Instead of what Leon is falsely assuming, that they're traveling around the world to marry rich men. Because does that mean Leon is rich? Probably not. But look at how many endless and countless excuses Leon is looking for to avoid these joyful occasions and look for a reason to not like these memory dolls, even without knowing them. This prejudgment, this baseless lack of evidence judgments does so many harm, not for just other people, but also for ourselves. We are killing and cutting ourselves short of opportunities and avenues for growth and connections. Very, very strong starts. Love the music. Shout out to Evan Call. Join our Patreon family for all my unedited footages and my analysis about the introductions and more. Wow, beautiful landscape. Where is this?
Violet, 久しぶりね。元気してた？ブルーベルさん、イベリスさん、ルクリア。
Luculia!
王女様の脱出。
Wow.
あんた、私も記事読んだわよ。あなたが知り合いなんて鼻が高いわ。
Do you guys recognize how significant, amazing this quick dialogue is? Violet-san. Violet went from someone who does not understand how to even write a letter, going from letter writing, aka writing a report, by being criticized by the teacher in the academy, by being scolded by her colleagues at the postal office, by someone who doesn't even understand emotions, who solely became an auto memory doll for what? To understand what I love you mean. What is the meaning of I love you by Major Gilbert's The Last Parting and Dying Wish? That is the sole reason and the purpose why Violet became inspired to become an auto memory doll. To what? Her fellow auto memory dolls from different regions are admiring her. I mean, look at the shortest girl to the left. She's blushing literally as you speak on this pause scene. She's like, I'm so honored to meet you, Violet. We've heard about your amazing work for Princess Charlotte and Prince Damien. Violet's work, her letter writing ability, and her conduit, her ability as a bridge to deepen and connect relationships at the highest level for two different royalty families. That legacy, that word, have spread far and wide. That now she has admirers. Now she has become a role model, not for her astute and exceptional typing speed by adjusting her gears, but rather she has evolved and become a competent and exceptional auto memory doll. And do you guys notice how beautiful this transformation is? And this is what I said in the beginning. We need to not cut ourselves short. We don't need to give up, and we cannot give up. If Violet can transform and evolve from such a place of brokenness, orphanage, disconnection, from the hands that killed and slaughtered the enemies to the hands that connect and bridge amazing and beautiful relationships and marriages, to a point that she has now become admired by other amazing auto memory dolls. What does this say about us? What does this say about our hope and our possibilities? We need to keep going. Trauma, either it's big T trauma or small t trauma, it does not mean and does not necessitate the end of hope and the end of our lives. As long as we're breathing, when we place our hands on our chest, feel the drums and the rhythm of our heartbeats, we feel our life force. And that means we are alive, and that means there is hope. Infinitely so. This is such an amazing start to this episode 6, and I cannot believe that Violet is now becoming admired and truly a role model for so many. Amazing. Violet, let's go. So proud of you.
どうしたの？いえ、ありがとうございます。大丈夫？ちょっと元気がないみたいだけど。
Probably from that conversation with Gilbert's brother.
バイオレット。
皆様、私はこのユースティティア天文台シ
おー
ャヘル天文本部の課長ルベリエと申します。
お初にお目にかかります、旦那様。
Wow.
このシャ
They're infatuated. They're like, wow, beautiful woman from all around the continent.
集めた図書館を併設しております。我が写本課の職員はを写し取って保存するというとても重要な仕事を担っております。
A crucial duty.
それだけ
Do you
であ
think
れば
Violet got excited about that word, duty?
自動式人形の皆様
80. Whoa.
80名双方1名ずつがペアとなり解読
I'm sensing another symbolism right here, and that's the reason why I paused this scene. I know many of you guys urged me to finish the scene and then commentary, so I will try to do that better. But come on, guys. My brain is hyperactive. This is my analysis. I'm excited, and I have a lot to talk about, so bear with me. I ask you guys to look at the pause scene right now. Do you see the stark contrast literally? Look at the colorfulness to the right of the chief and the left of the chief. The transcribers, who are all men in this case, look at their wardrobe. Yes, I'm sure it's their uniform that's standardized. I get it. But what do you notice the difference with colors? Auto memory though represents what? Emotional expression, vitality, vibrance, the bridge that connects people. The outlets of their creativity and their emotions, the liveliness, life. And what does the color or the lack thereof on the left side represents? Monotone, this turquoise color, light blue, very seems rigid and colorless. So look at this comparison of the colorfulness of this livelihood of emotional expression that's represented by auto memory dolls, which is their vocation and the purpose and the meaning of their jobs, and towards the left, where there's no colors at all, seemingly lifeless. I think this is another symbolism and beautiful highlights talking about how even our emotional expressions and colors can represent life, because there can be no life without emotions, and there can be no emotions without relationships. And by that logic, without relationships and emotions, your life is not complete. Our life, to live a full, fulfilling, meaningful life, we need meaningful relationships, which requires meaningful expression of our emotions and our honesty, our inner selves. And I think this is a beautiful demonstration through this animation to highlight that fact. Amazing. I can tell it's going to be an amazing episode.
失うことの許されない貴重な記録を後の世代
2 weeks? That's a lot of books. Oh, Leon. Just a quick glimpse. Did you see the aloofness and emotional disconnection and lack of facial expression of Leon? And I never thought I would say this, guys, but here we are. The emotional expression and the liveliness of Violet. Violet was smiling and looking at the chief because she's excited. She has blossomed like a flower, pun intended, and she has come such a long way. Whereas Leon is what? Emotionally constricted, avoidant, and disconnected, which is exactly where Violet was in episode 1. But in a matter of 5 episodes, I get it, we're halfway through the show, Violet has come such a long way. So that's another quick glimpse. But again, what I learned from this show and Frieren, 2 masterpieces, every frame, every scene has deep purpose. It's designed intricately for a purpose. So I know from my perspective, of course I could be wrong, but from my perspective, that even that quick glimpse of that comparison side by side shows the contrast of how Violet is going from the broken to potentially the teacher in this episode, and Leon, who is still in the broken stage. So I'm very, very excited to see how their interactions, Violet and Leon, intertwine in this episode. Amazing. Let's go. Yoroshiku. Guys are so nervous. Wow. What shampoo does Leon use? That luscious long hair? Wow. Leon and Violet? Violeto? Fucking called it. I knew they will intertwine and interact. I knew it. Wow. The broken and Violet, who was once broken, but who is now connected and healed and blossomed. Oh, God, let me come down a little bit. The writing in this show is nuts. Leon is bamboozled, flabbergasted. Seriously, Leon might have more luscious and smoother long hair than Violet. What's your secret, Leon? 400 years ago. That's like the history of the United States. Wow.
ちょうど200年周期で巡ってくる彗星なんだ。間もなくここシャヘル天文
Amazing landscape. That is beautiful. Look at the clouds.
了解しました。
では始める。
はい。
言っておくが俺は解読が早い。記述が追いつかないようならお前は無用の長物と。
Trust me, Violet is faster.
ならお手並み拝見だ。
So here's immediately what I'm seeing from Leon's initial interaction with Violet. What do you guys sense from Leon? Do you sense this warmness, this cuddliness, this friendliness? Heck no. What I'm sensing is hospitality and aggression and agitation. But how can that be? Leon doesn't even know who Violet is. They just got matched by the chief. Leon does not know who Violet is, what her background is, and what her story entails. And I talked about this in the beginning of the episode. This level of prejudgment is detrimental for all relationship building, especially if you want to create meaningful relationships. Judgment does not help. We are not the courts. We are not the prosecutor. We're not the district attorney. We are people. Our job is to judge other people. Let the judges judge. Our job is to accept and approach others and strangers with non-judgmental approach through compassion, through empathy. And we are not seeing that whatsoever from Leon. And of course, yes, Leon, through that quick monologue in the beginning of the scene, already disclosed and informed us why he despises the vocation of auto memory doll, even though the basis and the foundation of his judgment and despise is entirely inaccurate. Because memory dolls do not travel to marry rich men. They're there to bridge connections. But I'm seeing this hospitality, and I wanted to take a quick moment to share my knowledge about attachment theory. A definition right here. So I'm sure many of us heard about attachment theory, and I appreciate TikTok for really helping moving the conversation and knowledge of mental health forward. But everything oscillates, and TikTok has really hijacked and diluted what attachment theories and styles really are. So first and foremost, I want to start here. Attachment styles are 4 different styles. First is secure. Second is avoidant. Third is anxious. Fourth is disorganized. So secure attachment style, avoidant attachment style, anxious attachment style, and disorganized attachment style. But here's the caveat. Just because you're one of these 4 attachment styles, of course secure is good, it does not mean that you're fixed and stuck with that same attachment style for the rest of your life. That is not the case. If you're anxious and avoidant and insecure with your attachment style because of your upbringing, broken parental styles, if you are with someone that's secure, who are willing to be warm with you, patient with you, and work with you romantically or interpersonally, your avoidance or anxious attachment styles can actually get better and heal. So our attachment styles are not fixed permanently. Only thing that's permanent is death. So if you're alive, there is possibilities and hope. And our attachment styles can remold and reshape and grow over time based on who we are with. That's why finding a meaningful relationship and finding meaningful belonging is instrumental for our growth and the growth of other people. So why is attachment styles important? So for example, I don't know too much about Leon yet, but based on the data I've gathered in this 8 minutes of the episode, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that Leon is avoidant attachment style. So anxious means, oh, I'm very anxious, I'm highly sensitive, not in a bad way, but because, let's say for example, for those who have anxious or are prone to anxious attachment style, it's because your needs were not always met by your parents. So you're waiting at home, but your parents are not coming home, or they're not tending to your care because you're busy working 3 jobs, single mother household, and so on. So you're very anxious. Am I gonna get my needs met today or not? Is my mom gonna love me today or not? Am I gonna get scolded or not? So that's why you're anxious. You don't really know. There's so much uncertainty. Whereas avoidance is your parents never came home, you're neglected and even abandoned entirely. And because you're abandoned, what do you do to protect yourself? Because remember guys, these attachment theory is not meant to pathologize and saying that, oh, look at you. You're horrible because you're avoidant attachment. You're horrible and awful because you're anxious. No, it's not labeling to judge, but rather labeling to understand, because it represents trauma and brokenness that's outside of your control. So I'm speculating that Leon represents avoidant attachment style. Why? Because since the beginning of this episode, he's been avoiding with his facial expressions through immediate prejudgmental criticism against auto memory dolls, even though he knows nothing about them. Nothing. So he's avoidant. Why? I'm guessing that he's probably abandoned from his parents or his family backgrounds. He's probably coming from a place of negligence and abandonment. So what does Leon and other people with avoidance attachment styles do? They avoid. I don't need love. I don't need connections. I don't need nobody else because I'm only gonna get hurt anyway. I don't need relationships because the only relationships, the most important relationships, which is our relationship between ourselves and our parents, were nothing but hurts and abandonment. So what do? as defensive mechanism and to protect myself, I avoid. I build up a wall. I don't need connections because connections have no purpose except to hurt and abandon me anyway. And that's why Leon's avoidance attachment style manifests here as aggression, being hostile. I decipher really fast. I decode really fast. What do you know about these 400-year-old manuscripts? If you can't keep up with me, you're useless. And I think all of his aggression and prejudgments is probably manifestations and representation of Leon's own abandonment and negligence in his life, probably with his parents. But am I completely off? Or am I onto something? We shall see.
暗き天よりいでしその光リアドナ先生術師曰く
So calm. Done.
光の矢の出現はアリアドナの言葉
Leon doesn't know Violet can actually even tune up and fasten her typing speed, but Leon will be too slow.
光に際して失せる高貴なるものの貢ぎ物とされるなり
Leon, can you keep up? Right there. I'm pretty sure I was spot on with my analysis and prediction. Leon just paused, for the first time since he started deciphering or transcribing, since that's his job, transcriber, is a picture of, I think, a Mother Mary and Jesus through my Judeo-Christian perspective. Anyhow, in this case, a mother and a child. He paused. And now in this pause scene, we see that he's grieving and he seems sad. Remember, he had no expressions. If anything, despise. But now, excuse me. That was so powerful that I had to burp real quick. He is actually seeing sorrowful. And I think this is, again, solidifying what I said. I think he does indeed represent avoidant attachment style because I'm guessing that he probably has attachment struggle with his parents, and I'm guessing he's either abandoned by his mother or father, but I definitely sense a strong theme of abandonment just from that quick pause and the camera in the show zooming in on his sorrowful face in the image of a mother and a child. See, his tonality also softens and he seems more sad. Yep, definitely hurts. His jaws are hurting. 144 pages. 3 days worth of work.
進行は皆さん非常に順調です。最大で3日
Leon and Violet, let's go.
からの作業も頑張ってくださ
Do
い。
they get bonuses or not?
なあ、なんであれだけの代筆をこなして
Oh, Starry Sky, which is the name of this episode.
移動に比べればさほどひ
Wow, look at that sky with Starry Sky. Wow.
お望みであれば駆けつけるのが仕事です。
They're bonding.
1年のほとんどは
Wow, that is tiring.
そんな大変な仕事をしてるんだよ。
私に与えられた役目だからです。その思いを紡ぐ。
Yes, Violet.
そして時に
Social
このよ
learning
うな
theory.
古い書物を書いた方のか
Wow. Wow, I got goosebumps. That's a beautiful, beautiful sky. Holy crap.
そうだな。
Leon smiled for the
私は
first
そのよう
time.
な素晴らしい仕事にふさわしいのでしょうか。
Worthy. The topic of worthiness. That was the first time that Leon let go and disposed his prejudgments without any basis, instead led with curiosity tell me, Violet, why do you do this job? And notice the difference in his tonation and the softness and the gentleness with that question. Leon realized after spending obviously all day with Violet, pumping out 3 days worth of work, that maybe I'm misjudging her. She doesn't seem like the, I guess, air quote, gold digger type to only travel to marry rich men, which was entirely his false assumptions and false belief. So he asked, tell me, Violet, why do you do this job? And then Violet obviously tells him her purpose, her transformation of duty to responsibility, of tasking with people's past, their memories and emotions. And she beautifully demonstrates the power of mirror neuron theory and social learning theory that I talked in-depthly about in the last episode. If you haven't checked it out, it's in the description below. And what do we see? We're only 10 minutes into this episode. Man, I've been talking a lot. But this episode is so beautiful and so masterfully written that we're already seeing Leon's transformation facially, going from this rigid, seemingly aloof, very aggressive, agitated facial expression in the beginning of the scene to now only and merely after one day of work that his face has already softened. We're already seeing more expressions. We saw the grief, the sorrow in his face when he saw the picture of the mother and a child. And through this dialogue under the starry sky of, oh, so desu ne. Oh, I understand. I see. So we're already seeing transformation and evolutionary development of Leon. Beautiful.
何がおっしゃりたいのでしょうか。
リオンがパートナーでかわいそうだってことだよ。
Uh-oh. Wow, they're bad-mouthing.
ならない性格だろ。
シャヘルの
Orphan, just like Violet.
対に素敵な女性、あいつにはもったいない。
Bro, what?
だから
Man.
仕事が終わったら僕たちの
Dude, people who gossip are the worst.
私も孤児です。それに私は皆様がおっしゃるようなろくな生き方もしておりません。
Oh, Violet. Violet.
生まれや育ちで会話をする相手が限られるのでしたら、私には関わらない方が良いか。
Whoa, I got goosebumps. Holy shit.
そうさ、あいつの母親なんて。
私は親の顔も知りません。
Yo.
君、リオンがパートナーだからかばってるんだろ。
No, bro.
いいえ、事実を言っているだけです。
Yep, Violet doesn't fluff.
行こう。
Yo.
話が通じない。
Yo, f this dudes, dude. Violet. They're both orphans. How did the writers come up with this?
目当ての本は見つかりましたか。
あった。
Violet says nothing but the truth. Facts. No
怒っ
printer.
てない。こういう顔なんだ。
She just blushed.
私は無表情だとよく言われます。こういう顔です。
Aww. Well, even their eyes are the same. Holy shit, another parallelism. Their eyes are the same.
そしたら彼女なんて言ったと思う？あなた可愛いわね。だって。おい、聞いてるか？
At least Leon has a great roommate.
お互い頑張ろうぜ。あの子が帰る4日後までに。
As requested, I'm waiting for the scene to end before some more commentary. What Violet said is so exceptionally beautiful. If our upbringing limits the circle of people we interact with, I suggest you do not get involved with me. If our upbringing, aka trauma, and the forces that's larger than our control, the trauma that is beyond our control, if our upbringing limits the people we interact with, then I suggest you do not interact with me. Yes, she was partially defending not Violet. She was partially defending Leon through nothing but truth speaking. But it's so profound what she just said. Our trauma and our upbringing that we do not get to control does not and will not limit and define who we are. Our worst mistake does not define who we are. Our trauma does not define who we are. Guys, listen to me loud and clear, please. Take a pause. Listen to what I'm sharing. Our trauma does not define who we are, and we are not our trauma. We are bigger than our trauma. We can transcend our trauma. We are multidimensional, multifaceted, wholesome, unique, beautiful beings. Trauma and our upbringing is limited, but our future and our capacity to heal, reconnect, and transform is limitless. I'll say that again. Our upbringing and trauma is limited. Why? Because we don't get to control who we were born with, what family we're born into, what sort of privileges or lack thereof we're gifted with when we were born. At the same time, we do get to control what we do with our lives. We do get to control the type of people we meet by going out there, venturing into the unknown, by taking a leap of faith. Why? Because we are worth it. They talked about worthiness earlier. Violet said, sometimes I fear that I'm not worthy for this job. But you are, Violet. And Leon, you are also worthy of new connections, venturing into the unknown, new relationships. It sounds like you are abandoned and neglected, the upbringing that you do not control. But so is Violet. She is also an orphan. She doesn't even know the faces of her parents, and she was raised as a different type of tool. Not to connect people, not the bridging tool, but the tool that brings destructions, chaos, and death. Our upbringing and our trauma do not define who we are, people. Please, we are more than that. We are better than that. But we must do the work. We can heal. We too can transform and evolve beautifully like Violet, and I'm guessing also for Leon. So what does that say about the rest of us? Please do not give up. There is hope. Our capacity is limitless. I believe in you, and I believe in all of our capacities to do so. So, ganbatte, 화이팅, 加油. The music's already so uppity, so gleeful.
食べている時と寝ている時というのは無防備です。私は昔軍人でしたので。
軍人?
Leon's like, what? I don't know you at all.
おかしい。だって
Normal arm with a silver mechanical arm?
女だよ。
Leon's getting shy. Did you bring bread?
もう見る機会はないぞ。
Whoa.
あり。
水星ですね。
そうだ。
Once every two. Oh, geez. Don't crush the bond, dude. Oh, bro.
死んだぞ。
Oh, that baguette.
はい、見てみたいです。
Oh.
そうか。なら。
Did he just put the baguette on the floor? Bro, not even paper wrap? Or did he grab it back? Oh, I guess he took it back. Poor baguette. Crushed. He's just counting down the days for that once in a lifetime. I mean, 200 years. That's like 2 lifetimes. Starry sky. Oh, this is gonna be a symbolic ass scene. I know it. Get ready for my commentary, y'all.
水星の尾が一番綺麗に見えるのが日の出前の東の空だ。
旦那
Aww.
様。
いい。遠慮するな。
Aww.
スープも飲んでろ。
He's gotten so much warmer. Do you see the difference? Prejudgment to openness. Please let go of judgments for ourselves and also for others. He's flustered.
覚えてるか？図書館でいろいろ言われたの。
F gossipers, dude.
そして踊りや歌、自分の才を披露する。
They're opening up, sharing their life stories.
今思えば
Aww, what a happy family. Wow.
そしてある仕事の最中
Oh shit. Ah.
待っててねリオン、きっと父さんと一緒に帰ってくるから。
Oh. He was abandoned by his mother, who went to look for his father.
だが置いていこう。
Oh.
人をそんな風なバカに貶めてしまう。
ことがとても大切だったのですね。
Oh, great reflective listening. Definition right here. Reflective statements.
血のつながった家族はおりません。ただ
Major Gilbert's chosen family.
どういう気持ちなのかは分かっても、それが自分に生じているの。
Wow.
その人のことを思い出すことはないか。
Ambiguous emotional loss. They both feel it. Oh,
思い出します。
transitory objects.
なります。
Grief.
それが
し
Oh, Leon's also teaching Violet.
なあ、もし俺との契約期間中にその人が危険な状況に陥っているって聞かされたらどうする？
Oh,
言っても
interesting
助けられるか
question.
どうかわからない。それでもそいつのところへ行くか。
That's his own situation with his mom and dad. He's externalizing. Definition right here. Externalization.
その問いには選択肢がなく、旦那様にどう謝罪しようかと。 私にとってあの方の存在はまるで世界そのもので、それがなくなるくらいに私が死んだ方がいいのです。
いや、驚いた。お前、そういうこと言わなそうなのに。
そうなのでしょうか。
まるで。あ、そうか。お前そいつのことを愛して。
旦那様、あの彗星、尾が長くなっている気がします。
Whoa, goosebumps. Holy moly. Wow. Oh my.
星じゃない、彗星だ。俺たちはもう二度とあれに出会うことはできない。人生でたった一度きりの出会いな。
Yo. Technically, it's once in 2 lifetimes, but who's counting? Wow.
時、流れる妖精の国にて
Holy
新たな
crap.
器を授かりて、その魂は未来へ。
She memorized it. Wow.
皆様ありがとうございました。
Holy crap. That was a beautiful, beautiful scene with the animation and that open dialogue. Let me just analyze what happened there psychologically. Leon and Violet had an extremely open conversation emotionally. and Leon and Violet learn that they're more similar than not. And Leon explains to Violet his own ambiguous emotional loss because presumably his father is dead. The party stopped searching after 2 years, but it was never confirmed. The father just never came home. And then what happened next? His only remaining blood family, or the most intimate family, mother, also left in search of his father. So he lost both families. But the thing is, like I said with the avoidant attachment style earlier, his dad did not abandon him because we are operating with the assumption that he passed away. But his mother did indeed abandon him because she made a conscious decision to leave her son for her husband. But here's the nuances, and this is very tricky. And I'm not justifying or endorsing or validating what the mother did. But here's the thing, life is complex. What do I mean by that? Like what Violet said, if there's a chance of me saving Major Gilbert during this contract, I will leave without a second thought. But my only struggle is I wouldn't know how to apologize to you, Leon, as my partner on this contract. Because without him, there will be no existence. My life has no meaning without Major Gilbert. That's the detriment of ongoing ambiguous emotional loss. So what does that say about Leon's mother? Leon's mother didn't leave Leon because she hates him. She didn't leave him because she hates his guts and she's like, I'm gonna abandon my son. No, that was not her thought process. She was dealing with unspeakable amount of grief for losing her husband, the love of her life. And therefore she made a, single-sided, unidimensional decision to search for her partner. But I'm sure, and I hope in her minds, the family portrait we saw, she did look like a gentle mother to me. That I think in her minds, I will find my husband at all costs, no matter what, and then I'll eventually come back with my husband to our son Leon. And of course that didn't happen. But in Leon's mind he is bitter and resentful against his mother because his side of the story is my mom abandoned me for my father who presumably is dead. So that is abandonment, and that is extremely traumatic for Leon. Yes. At the same time, it's very, very difficult and complex and nuanced because can we also blame the mother for looking for his or her husband who she loved more than anyone? Of course, we're like, oh, she should have been a more responsible mother and just stayed home with Leon or take Leon with her. But what if she knew that he died, the husband? And what if she was feeling suicidal and so depressed with such a prolonged grief that she wasn't thinking straight? And yes, that is a common side effect and characteristic of people in deep, deep grief, deep depression. We cognitively literally cannot think straight. We cannot be objective. Our rationality and our ability to think compromises significantly through depression, and that is the cognitive impairment as a byproduct of depression and grief. And that is a fact. And that's what Violet was telling Leon indirectly by answering his scenario. No question, I will look for him, Major Gilbert. But I'm not looking for him to hurt you, Leon. That's why I don't know how to apologize to you. It's not mutually exclusive. They both can be true. That Leon's mother did leave and traumatize Leon as a process. But she didn't leave for the intention of traumatizing Leon, but rather she loved her husband more than anything, and she could not live on without her husband. So she had to look for him to minimize her regrets, because she will not be able to live for the rest of her life without that closure. So it's both true. Yes, Leon was traumatized by mother leaving, but mother was not intentionally trying to traumatize Leon. Rather, she was manifesting her own trauma, her own depression, her own grief, her own ambiguous emotional loss, which resulted in her leaving. Such a beautiful, powerful scene. And now we're seeing what I said in the introduction, that Violet went from the place and the role of the broken to the role of indirect mentor and teacher who imparted Leon with beautiful indirect advice through openness and emotional expression. That was such a beautiful scene. Non-stop goosebump moments. Wow.
お世話になりました。
また来いよ。
あOh,
お世話になりました。
Leon is walking Violet back.
はい。
俺は今写本家にいるが、本当は父さんと同じ。
He's gonna leave. Oh. He's gonna leave. He's gonna pursue his unfulfilled dreams and legacy of his father.
俺もお前と同じように大陸中を回。
Oh my gosh, goosebumps.
でも俺はその道を選ぼうと思う。
Oh, Violet is smiling too.
同じ旅人同士だ。
Oh,
バイオレット・エヴァーガー。
oh, so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
その時はまた一緒に星を見てくれ。
Yes, Leon. Oh. Statistically low, but who knows, buddy? Don't hold back. Yes.
閉じ込められていた扉の向こうに。
Oh, from the broken to the teacher, Violet. Oh. Holy moly guacamole, dude. This episode is nuts. This might be one of my favorite episodes so far. Under the Starry Sky. Yo. Holy moly. Wow. So I want to close out with my final analysis of that beautiful, powerful dialogue and exchange between Leon and Violet. Violet has become such an exceptional auto memory though. Like I said repeatedly, she went from the broken to the teacher. She gave and instilled courage to Leon, that Leon went from spending years being stuck, being afraid of moving forward, taking a leap of faith into the unknown. Yes, in part, because he was hoping to wait for his mother and his father. But of course, as we know, after a certain years, and it sounds like at least 10 plus years or more have passed since Leon's father and mother never returned. But he was so afraid, which is a reflective of his avoidance attachment style. He was avoidant of all possibilities. He was avoidant of new hope, new chances, new relationships, new connections. So he became cold, aloof, closed off. He became this colleague that many people would gossip about and label him as someone that's insufferable, which Violet defended beautifully through true speaking. And now what do we see? After years of avoidance, being complacent, using his words, being stuck because of fear. We can't say that's good or bad because it's a defensive mechanism. Leon, through his trauma of abandonment, did everything he can to survive, to self-preserve. Self-preservation cannot be judged, especially he didn't harm anybody except himself. But through this beautiful dialogue under the starry sky, with this once a two lifetime comet, he finally decided to muster up the courage and venture into the unknown, to leave behind the oldness and the stuckness of being a transcriber in the library, instead to live on and continue the unlived legacy and unfulfilled legacy of his father by traveling around the world to collect documents. That is part of grief counseling and grieving process, as I said in the earlier episodes. It's a beautiful demonstration, like the starry sky, that there is infinite amount of possibilities as long as we are aware, accept through non-judgmental acceptance and compassion, by taking a faith in ourselves, through connecting with beautiful other amazing people and powerful connections. That moments might be brief, just like the interactions with Leon and Violet. It's a brief interaction and a blip of their lifetime, which can nevertheless have lasting impact and lasting transformation. And beautiful shout out to Leon, but even bigger shout out to Violet. You have come such a long way. Wow. Anyway, like I said, I think this is probably one of my favorite episodes so far. And if you found my in-depth analysis and reaction helpful, as always, smash that thumbs up and share this episode with one friend. Bless them. But also, don't you want to cry together and bless them with this knowledge that you never thought you would derive and learn from watching Violet Evergarden or from other anime that I cover? And please join our Patreon family at Psychotherapist Reacts if you feel called to. Your support really helps our work because it's not cheap and easy producing master level analysis for each videos. And as promised, our exclusive content will go live once our YouTube channel hit 15,000 subscribers. We are on the right track, and I greatly appreciate your generosity and patience until then. And as always, till next time, peace.